Rebecca is a character that was introduced in Season 22. She was met with large hate after she replaced Henry, a veteran of the show. However, as I've gone along in life, I've had more appreciation for Rebecca as a character. And with all the new information about Rebecca before Bubba was shoved into production by Mattel, I've really seen potential in her character, and so have many others. Many people have given Rebecca the story she deserved instead of being shoved into Tim's sheds and Mattel telling us to deal with their publicity stunt. I also have done this, and I decided to do the stories using wooden railway models. There's one huge problem though. Because Rebecca was introduced in the new 2018 rebrand, the only wooden toys of her are her wood model and the TWR 2022 model. I think you can see where the problem is here. These just look plain awful. The short wood tender engines really did not work in Mattel's favor, and Rebecca's TWR 2022 model, while nice, just doesn't hit the mark in my opinion. See the tender, wheels, and face. So I decided to make a custom of her, and this is how I made my custom wooden railway Rebecca. To learn how Rebecca came into fruition, we must start out with the Jones Goods engine. You might be asking me, why is this random train, which looks nothing like Rebecca, important to this story? I'll tell you, this is what Rebecca originally was meant to be. And I don't mean I was going to change her bases up. I mean the custom was originally going to be a Jones Goods engine. I had an Emily tender already painted up to look like this one from a Japanese game, which I wanted to make anyways because I thought it would be cool, although I'd make it strictly a Jones Goods engine, without all these random details. I waited a very long time for a 2000 Gordon, and I finally got a Gordon. A 2003 Gordon. I needed a 2000s Gordon, as there was not a firebox I'd have to mod and I could just extend the funnel easily. But this 2003 Gordon was not going to work, and that made me lose all motivation into making this, as I waited for a Gordon for a while now, and started the Jones Goods engine in 2022. However, instead of crying over spilled milk, I decided to do something about this. No, it was not to kick Dax's ass, which is the reason I got a 2003 Gordon. No, it was to kill Gordon. I had planned a Rebecca story arc in 2020, but I cancelled it due to revamping my series. However, I thought now would be a better time than ever to get this project into fruition, and step 1 was to make a Rebecca custom. I know I'm usually the guy that does 3D prints, but for Rebecca, I thought I'd do a scratch build instead, as it had been a while since I'd done one. I took the Gordon and took the boiler, smoke box, and firebox out, with the firebox being more crude as I had to saw into the wood, but it was easily taken out. I then decided to keep the boiler instead of removing it for a future purpose. I was originally going to completely scratch build the tender, however, I ended up not doing that. Exactly. I found my wood Rebecca and took her tender, then used that as a basis. I cut the top of the tender off, pain, and put the top of the push-along tender and a water cap sculpted out of Milliput on. I painted the tender to get an idea of what I'd be dealing with, and it didn't come out too bad in my opinion. After that, I cut the front of the wood model off and fixed the wood face to my liking. I had to sand a little bit of wood to make the front fit, but it was alright. Then, it was time to build the body. I built the sides of the balsa wood and used the boiler I mentioned earlier to hold it up, although it took some time sanding with the Dremel to put it into shape so it could work. The balsa also had to be shaped correctly, so it took some time to putty the sides and get them smooth. I also had to sand the cab down with my Dremel to make it smooth with the top. I painted coats of gray on as a primer to see my imperfections, and I found a lot. More putty was used until it was finally done. Then it was time to paint Rebecca yellow and blue. This was a pretty standard job, but the biggest issue I faced was Rebecca's accent colors. Rebecca has a red and orange on her body, and it's a cute transition to yellow, although painting it on was very hard. The red was standard, just a few small coats and it was on. However, the orange was hard. I have had trouble with orange paint in the past, so I was worried about this time. However, after a nail-biting mastering experience and hoping for the best, it came out fine. After this, I realized there's a dip near the end of them, so I quickly added that. It's not completely smooth, but I feel it's alright. I've forgotten the white line between the red and the blue on purpose, I just felt it wasn't right. After that, I added the number and cab windows using paint pens, and Rebecca was done. Oh wait, I forgot the white rims on the wheels! There we go, now that's more like it. Now, Rebecca is done. I'm extremely happy with how she came out. It was a nerve-wracking experience, but I think I made it work in the end. If you want to see her in action, watch NW Specials Rebecca the Express Engine. That'll be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all on the next one.